studios in Brea, California, here is the Doyledin podcast.
Welcome back to the Doyledin podcast. I'm your host, Drew, joined by my other host, my dad, right here. There he is. And we're here to talk about wrestling and just what's going on with us, I guess. I don't know. I've been out of the wrestling loop for a little bit, so it's going to be a little refresher for me. We talked about JFK on our last episode 2 weeks ago, and I think from our last episode that we did when we talked about wrestling, I haven't seen anything except this week's Raw. So I've been out of the loop, and life's gotten a little busy, but that's okay. We're here now.
Yeah. Well, you missed out on some, not a ton. I mean, it's just a build up to Saturday night's main event. We had the Survivor Series, which I didn't watch because I'm not paying extra. And now, like I said, we're building up to Saturday night's main event, and then also the Royal Rumble. And they've also started promos for WrestleMania. But of course, the big thing is CENA's last match this coming Saturday, and the build up to that, which I thought they've done a tremendous job of. Mm-hmm. A total 360 from the heel turn, which everybody's forgotten about at this point.
Yeah,
and even poked fun of it last week when Liv Morgan came back and she slapped Dom and jumped into CENA's arms and then nut shot at Cena, just like he did to Cody Rhodes. And so they kind of gave a little, slap in the face.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. And it was a good match too. And Dom has just come so far. He's so good right now, and has been and will be.
Yeah.
But this week's Raw, I thought, was one of the best Raws in a long, long time. And
really good.
We had a discussion on X this week with some tools who just don't understand why Gunther should be the number one contender here for his spot at CENA's last match.
I might throw up some pictures.
Do it. Yeah. We had some more last night, and it's just like, you guys, it's okay to be a fan and go, I hate Gunther and all that, but don't try and talk like you understand the business and explain why Gunther should not be the guy getting the spot when it's perfect. Gunther is such a great heel. He's one of the most over heels that's not involved in another storyline. And he's gotten so many faces over because of his promos and the matches. And somebody was saying, well, he lost to this guy and that guy. That's the point. He's a heel. And when you're a great heel, you can lose to a guy and come back next week and still have people hate you for all the reasons that you want them to hate you.
Yep.
And Gunther's done that. He's been that badass heel in a storyline, and he's gotten the best of a baby face like Sami Zayn. And then come time for the match, now people want to see Sami Zayn beat him, when honestly, if it wasn't for somebody like Gunther, I don't think you'd have many people interested in Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn goes over, it gets Sami Zayn over, and Gunther's still a badass heel. And his promo on Raw last night, absolutely brilliant. Not too complicated. Didn't go for the cheap heat, which I was hoping he wouldn't do, because the night before, Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Houston Texans in a bit of an upset, and kind of has taken the Chiefs out of the playoffs. They need a miracle now to really get into the playoffs this year for the first time in over 10 years. And that was an easy lob there for anybody to go ahead and take that and use that in a promo. But Gunther, they made it serious, stayed focused, and made this like a holy shit. This is, big time stuff right now. And the promo was such a good heel promo, and the crowd was booing the shit out of him, and they were just begging for Cena, and of course Cena's not there. But no, man. Perfect choice. And when we called it, 2 months ago.
Yeah, that it was going to be Gunther.
Before this even started, we said that's the guy that they got to have going. And this Raw, more than any other Raw in recent memory, has definitely leaned on a lot of things that we've been talking about over the last 2-3 months.
The Saudis are watching our show.
Saudis and Triple H are on Zoom calls every weekend. Hey, have you seen Doyledin? We got to start doing what they're talking about.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned at the beginning, the argument of, well, he's beaten, he got beat by this guy. It's not about power levels here. Like, that's not what makes a compelling story. You could, I'm a big comic guy compared to comics. You don't look at the Joker and think, oh, he's always getting beaten by Batman. He's always, it's like, who cares? As long as it fits the narrative and fits the story, who cares who beats who? Just make a good story. So,
hey, that's a great point that you bring up, because if you look at the Dark Knight and all the cool shit that the Joker did in that movie, that's the shit you remember.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't remember much of the ending of when Joker got beat, but I remember blowing up the hospital. I remember slamming a guy's head into the pencil, all that crazy stuff that made you go, holy crap, this guy's serious. But Batman ended up beating him, and it didn't hurt Joker at all. I want to see him return and do more bad shit. Because it's a character. It's a badass character. And while you don't, kind of cheer that stuff on in real life, it's a movie, and you understand the entertainment process, and you need that bad guy to have a great good guy.
Yeah.
If you don't have good bad guys, you don't have great bad guys, you don't have great good guys. And what I mean by that is, look at all the guys that Hogan beat on his way up to make WWE what it is. If it was, and that's why Andre the Giant gets so much praise from Vince and WWE as a whole, and why there's a big, huge statue of him in the lobby of the corporate office, is because if it wasn't for Andre the Giant letting Hulk Hogan slam him at WrestleMania 3,
yeah,
it probably wouldn't be such a huge worldwide phenomenon as it was, being WWE. Of course, Hogan was already over. He was definitely a big deal. But doing that slam to Andre, which had been done before, by the way, at Shea Stadium and a few other places that they had wrestled before in Japan, but nobody saw that because it wasn't on a worldwide stage. But now you're seeing this big, huge monster heel against somebody that you love in Hulk Hogan, and that's the cherry on the cake right there. That big slam, and that's like, holy shit. He is the greatest thing in the world. And, I expect Cena to go over on Gunther. And that will be, the cherry on the cake for his career.
Yeah.
And, just going off in the sunset. And honestly, typically when you're going out the door in a wrestling promotion, you lose. I wouldn't do that with Cena because of it's a retirement match and what he has done for this industry as a whole. However, I wouldn't be opposed to Gunther jumping the shit out of him after the match and leaving him alone. Let him win his last match. But give Gunther a receipt.
Yeah.
And let him be that big badass. And maybe the next big babyface comes down to save Cena. And that's how you go off the air.
And I'm glad it's not going to be Jey Uso.
Oh, absolutely not. Holy smoke. You dodged that bullet.
Yeah. I was so happy.
Yeah, we can get that into that. Oh,
yeah.
I don't know what's worse, but whatever.
I mean, we'll get into that. But did you see the John Cena episode on Joe Rogan?
No.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan recently did an episode with John Cena and his friend Tony Hinchcliffe, Joe Rogan's friend Tony Hinchcliffe, because that guy's a big wrestling buff. So,
well, they have that show that they do as well.
Yeah.
The road stuff,
Kill Tony and then that kind of stuff. But now it was a pretty cool episode because it kind of just solidified the kind of dude Cena is. and like just how his mind works with the business and outside of the business, and yeah, it was interesting. They talked about the stuff with China and a little bit of the heel turn, and yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. I would give it a watch, but
Yeah, I definitely will. And that's the thing with Cena is like if you go through his whole career, I mean, 20, I mean, if you conclude UPW when he was out here, when he was trained out here, 26, 27 years, you will find maybe one or two people that I've ever heard in all 27 years, say a bad word about him. I'm not saying he's a saint or he's an angel. Absolutely not. Everybody has their flaws. Everybody, makes mistakes. But publicly come out and say, well, this guy did this to me. You always hear that about a lot of wrestlers, the majority of wrestlers.
Yeah.
Somebody's got it boned, and it's usually in multiple promotions or whatever it may be. And I've only heard of maybe two guys. And those guys, you can tell, I mean, they screwed up their spot on the, if you know the business and you know how it works, they screwed up their spot. And
who were the two guys?
So one was drawing a blank on his name.
No, if you don't remember, it's okay.
I'll find out and you can put it up on the screen here and post it, right? I can see his face. But he was supposed to be in a program with Cena and it got ixnayed and here's the thing. People like to bash Hogan. Hogan played politics. Hogan did this. Ultimate Warrior played politics. Shawn Michaels. All the top guys are in the position for a reason. And when they're in that position, they have to do everything that they can to protect their character and protect. So their character is their brand, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if John Cena had something come out about him that he did that was terrible, that would ruin his brand for life or for at least, 10, 15 years, whatever it may be. You have to protect your brand. And if you're going to go have bad matches with talent who just can't give you that main event kind of deal, that's going to ruin your brand. And you won't be that top guy anymore. There's a lot of guys who have been on the top of a card and they've lost their spot because they had bad matches with guys who probably shouldn't have been there also. And there's guys who couldn't get up to the top. You're like, he's really good, but he's having these matches and these programs with these guys who are just awful, and he's not getting the elevation that he should have. Owen Hart is one of those guys. He had amazing matches, but because he was always in there with these storylines and talent that had bad gimmicks, the only time he really shined was with Brett in that program in '94, and that was amazing. But then that tapered off, and again, Owen didn't have much to work with. You have guys who just don't get it and always want to blame someone else. But there's very few in Cena's life that I know of. I mean, you even have his ex-fiance still on the same card as him, Nikki Bella, and no issues there. I mean, that they used to live together. I mean, the guy has done everything right from what it seems from the outside looking in, from, I mean, barely knowing him, but being around him 20 something years ago. Seemed cool. Seems like nothing's ever changed.
And he does the Make-A-Wish stuff too.
Yes, exactly. I was just going to say that, all the stuff he does for charity. And that's the kind of, and that's why he's getting such praise right now retiring, because he has done so much for this industry, so much for charities, for people that he didn't need to do, and has done it in a very positive manner with zero negativity over 25 years. I mean, come on, who does that? Not one bad story in the press over 25 years. Yeah. Now, if you ask Tom Segura, the comedian, that means he's hiding something, and he's probably a mass murderer like Garth Brooks. But if you haven't seen that, you got to listen to Tom Segura talk about Garth Brooks and how Garth Brooks is so fake, and because he's never had a bad.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Plenty of shit. Anyway, I'm not saying that about Cena. I'm joking, obviously.
Who knows? He could be though. you can't see him.
The Boston Strangler. Okay,
Yeah, you can't see him, so
you can. Hey, what a gimmick!
but yeah, I mean, we're gonna have Gunther be Cena's last opponent. Who do you think so far has been Cena's best opponent from the moment he announced his retirement to now? Personally, I would say Dominic Mysterio. I think he's up there.
Absolutely, that was a great match.
Yeah.
Both of them. You know, also it's the AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Another great match. And again, because here you have, it's, I know AJ and him went at it, years ago, right? But here we are these many years later, kind of reliving something that was great back then as even as good now.
Mm-hmm.
But then him and Dominic was brand new, fresh, So, you're getting a lot of Cena giving back to the newer generation, as well as, bringing back some of the old stuff, which was really cool. So it's been, again, aside from the heel turn, it's been great.
Yeah.
And especially the last, I guess 5 months, but overall, man, it's something that should really get a good rating on Peacock, right? It's on Peacock on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday night's main event is on Peacock.
Yeah, which is great because to have that on ESPN would be a crime, But yeah, so I don't know. I think Dominic and AJ probably.
Okay, yeah, I would also put Logan Paul up there. I really liked that match with them. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy because like who's gonna be the next big retirement after Cena? Who would you think? Rey Mysterio, LA Knight? I don't know. Like
AJ Styles. Yeah, they're talking about AJ Styles, and they'll probably do it. I mean, I don't want it to be as big as what they did for Cena, but it's definitely gonna be something next year where it's some kind of Styles tour, and he'll probably bring in guys that he's wanted to work with, and which is a whole different kettle of fish compared to Cena, right? So, because Styles was very much around TNA and the independents a lot before he came to WWE.
Yeah.
So he's got a broader scope of guys that he's worked with in the past, and they might bring some of those guys in who have never been in WWE or who used to be and are no longer there.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Where Cena has been.
Sorry.
Bless you. Where Cena's been there for his whole career, pretty much.
Yeah.
Aside from OVW and UPW, which is just how he was training, but as far as his actual career goes.
So you think they'll bring in somebody from TNA or from independent wrestlers for AJ Styles if they were to do something?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
That would be pretty cool. Because I will say about Cena's retirement tour, I like that it wasn't just like part of the big storyline. I like how it was still kind of like a back burner storyline of just like, yeah, he's retiring, but he's no championship belts are involved, so it's kind of just like a back burner storyline, and it wasn't really taking up the big limelight, and it didn't take up a lot of the top billed wrestlers as well. It focused on more of the mid card wrestlers, I would say, and
Sure.
and that's what I liked about it. I don't know. I so far I think they did a good job with it, aside from the heel turn, like you said. When we'll have to see how it ends on Saturday. I mean, so
it's gonna be good. I think the whole show's gonna be good.
Is it gonna be a I Quit match or a submission match, or what is it? Because Gunther was saying that he's gonna make him, quit.
Well, yeah, no, that's his finisher though, right? Is the I forget what they call it, but I mean that's what he made LA Knight tap out to.
Yeah.
So that's his finisher. He's gonna make him tap out.
Gotcha. That's what I was thinking. I just didn't know if it was like an I Quit match or something. But okay, well, yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out on Saturday. But in other news, Jey Uso is now part of his tag team. It's no longer main event Jey Uso. It's now Usos Jey Uso.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
I mean, tag division needs it. I mean, we've talked about how it needs more tag teams and how, it's there and there's nothing to it. And I think, from everything I've been seeing the last few weeks, I would guess that Hunter has finally gotten full control of creative. And this again, it's just my opinion, just my guessing that he didn't have. I really believe TKO is very heavily involved, and I'm hoping that they realize that it's not really working out. And this past week, especially, we're really getting back to a wrestling show.
mm-hmm.
And I know Hunter has no problem with tag teams. That was a Vince thing. Vince was never a big fan of tag teams, but I can see different influence these past couple of weeks, and I believe that's maybe Hunter having more control. But yeah, having the Usos back as a tag team, I think is good. I don't like Jey Uso as far as the singles, and I don't think he offers anything to a main event storyline, except for for the little kids and the eating and all that, which is so passe. I just not a fan.
We're over it. I mean, him holding the baby in this week's Raw and eating with the baby, I'm like, wouldn't be mine. Wouldn't be my baby. I would have just been like, keep it. It's yours now. Your problem.
I was waiting for him to punt it across the stadium, across the arena.
Turn heel
right there. Yeah.
Do a heel turn on the baby.
Yeah. You might have got a pop though. I don't know.
I would have cheered. I think
it's wrong, man.
I personally think they're bringing back the Usos as a tag team to just have Jey Uso turn heel. I think that's the direction they're going to go. I don't think it's going to stay a tag team for that long. I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Well, it's funny because like the previous week, it seemed like okay, he's ready to turn heel, and then when he came out with his brother this week for the reformation of the tag team, they attacked the New Day and didn't seem like they were really being heels. And it's kind of like okay. So I hope they do turn heel because they're definitely a better heel team than they are a face team.
I'm talking about just Jey Uso turning heel.
Oh yeah. Well,
I'd
like the team to turn heel and stay as a team, because if he turns heel, he's got to turn heel on his brother then, and that's been done, and that was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that interesting though. Either way it goes, it won't be that interesting to me.
No, I agree. And then the tag team match they had with the War Raiders against Styles and Dragon Lee.
Could their tag team be called AJ Lee?
AJ Lee could be. Well, then you have Eric, right, in War Raiders.
Yeah,
and Ibar, and Eric Ibar used to be a player for the Angels. So you have AJ Lee against Eric Ibar.
Okay. Know. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with golf, so I'm not familiar with that guy, but yeah.
But I tell you, anyway, I was going to say, some of the moves that AJ Lee was doing to the War Raiders made it just like, come on, I
kind of skimmed past that match as well.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm glad I didn't miss much.
But they just kind of made the War Raiders look kind of, but anyway, moving on from that, because they still got a lot of work to do for the tag division to make it more reputable.
Yeah, I would love the tag team division to be, the best division that they have, but oh well, it is what it is. The Usos being added to it, hopefully they could do something spicy with the tag team division, but I personally don't think it's going to do anything. I think they're going to have Jay Uso turn heel on Jimmy again. That's the vibe I'm getting. I don't know. That's because Jimmy was doing all the talking instead of Jay, when Jay's usually kind of the one that's, front and center. But
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
But maybe Jay Uso is going to take a break. Well, no, I think LA Knight's going to take a break, right? Because he got demolished by.
Well, let's. Yeah, well, sure, we can skip to that.
You want to talk about something else first? I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's okay. Well, I think there's a lot to talk about from this Raw, which is great.
Yeah.
I don't think he's taking a break. I think they beat the shit out of him to elevate him. Yeah. And again, this is something that the great minds of X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, don't understand. It's like he just got the shit kicked out of him by the number one group, right? Which they're finally doing great things with. The promos from Braun Breaker, and then the backstage attack, which is something that I've been talking about for a while that they need to do. Stuff like that to make them this monster group, this radical group that just doesn't care about the rules and will do whatever they want to whoever they want, whenever they want, make the show run long because they're just not done yet. That's the kind of stuff that we've been talking about that they need to be doing, and they did it great last night on Raw.
They're watching the show.
They're watching the show. They're taking pointers, and I appreciate that. Good job, Hunter. But
we'd love to have you on the show as well. That'd be a fun guest.
We'll see.
When we're dead.
But the LA Knight beatdown at the end, that might take him off TV for a week or two, but that's just to sell the injuries. If he comes back, he's got the ribs taped. He's definitely pissed off and angry, and now it's him and not Braun Breaker, but what's his name?
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Thank you. It doesn't work sometimes. Bronson Reed, for a big angle. And this is how you build Bronson up. I mean, a couple of months ago, Bronson wasn't on that level. But they've made him into this monster heel, which, again, going back to what we were saying about Gunther earlier, it's being that monster heel. LA Knight's obviously going to get the win and get the heat back in the match, and that's fine. But the process to get there is like, holy shit. He's getting his ass whipped every week. He's getting, destroyed. Mm-hmm. And he climbs and he climbs and he climbs. And that's how you make a hero. This is how you make a top good guy. And he overcomes and he gets the win in the match, which is what anybody remembers for the babyface. Mm-hmm. Nobody remembers it for the heel because you just don't care. But you care about the babyface. And they've made you care because he's been getting his ass whipped every week. And this is perfect for Bronson Reed.
I just wish he stole LA Knight's shoes or something. He's still repping the tribal thief shirt, but he's not like stealing anything.
Yeah, well, he stole his career. He can try and say that.
True.
But I mean, LA Knight needs to come back next week, and just like next week or 2 weeks from now, and destroy the limousine that Paul rides in or whatever. Back to this crazy drama.
Kind of be a Stone Cold in a way.
Yeah, I mean, not just a Stone Cold, but just something that, holy shit, we got something cooking here. Like, we got something going on. That's more than just a wrestling match. This is now taken outside the ring, taking it backstage. And that's what these fans want to see. They want to see more going on, not just in the ring, because it gets old. It gets old. A lot of the great stuff, even back in the early 90s, a lot of the great stuff didn't happen in the ring. It happened on the funeral parlor with Paul Bearer when The Undertaker threw Ultimate Warrior into a casket and shut it, and you could hear the air sucking out of the casket, and you're like, as a kid, I was like, holy crap. You got to help him. You got to get him out of there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't in the ring. The Shawn Michaels super kick to Marty Jannetty on the barbershop and then throwing him through the glass window to break up the Rockers. Holy crap. One of the biggest moments in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Another one of the biggest moments in wrestling history was Roddy Piper smashing a coconut over Jimmy Snuka's head on the Piper's Pit. Again, not in the ring. And that's what we've lost over this last period of time is everything has to happen in the ring, and there's nothing that's going on backstage or, somewhere else that is like, holy crap, you settle it in the ring. Everything else can happen anywhere else.
Yeah.
And, I remember one of my first weekends with WWE, and I was walking backstage with Shane, and he was looking for piping or some of the metal stuff that holds up the drapes and all that backstage.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we'll grab this right here and we'll just put it right here. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, so during this pre-tape, we're going to have, and I forget who it was, throw him into this. He's like, I could throw him into a wall, but there's no sound. So it doesn't feel as devastating. But if I throw him into this piping, which doesn't even hurt, but the sound makes it more devastating. I was like, you know what? That's genius. It's the perception. And the McMahons have always said perception is reality. And that's what they mean by that. If you perceive that to be like devastating, that's becomes the reality of it. And, so getting back to this stuff backstage where you're tsunami on the top of a car, holy crap. That was a great moment to go off TV. I mean, that was the first time in many years where I've said, what the hell's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Like, we just left it right there. That's the way wrestling should be.
Yeah.
And when you go off the air where it's just one guy in the ring going, hey, I won. Okay. Like, that was not a great match and it didn't mean anything.
Or we're ending Raw off of Jey Uso's intro music.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make you say, I got to watch next week. It's not compelling TV. It's not must-watch TV. And you go to any series on TV, any like Breaking Bad or Dexter, it's always a cliffhanger on the end of the show. You don't have to wrap everything up nice and neat. You've got to leave people hanging, wanting more. And wrestling lost that in the last, 10 years or so. So hopefully this is a sign of the times that's coming back, and we're doing more stuff backstage. And, they got the money. They got more money now than they had when we had the Attitude Era, and they were putting concrete in Corvettes and destroying limousines and, smashing people's houses up and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah. Let's see more of that.
Let's see more of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But done right and creatively, of course, not just, let's do it just to do it, But like last night's stuff was great. I mean.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I brought up LA Knight getting tsunamied by Braun Breaker, and you kind of acted like I was getting ahead of myself. What other stuff were you thinking about talking about in between that area, or in between,
Well, I like what they're doing. I like where it's going with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So Raquel went out there and did her stuff with Nikki Bella, laid her out, and then got in Stephanie McCure's face. And then she went backstage, and Liv was like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? And Raquel was like, hey, I don't need your permission. This is, of course not. Of course not. So then Raquel leaves to go get her match with Adam Pearce. Not with Adam Pearce, but from Adam Pearce for Raquel. For Stephanie McCure. And then Liv goes to, what's her name?
Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne Perez. I don't know why I keep forgetting her name. Like I forget everything else.
It's okay.
And says, hey, I'll go out there with you. And usually that's Raquel's thing. And, so she questions that. She's like, no, we're going to be tag champs now. So, while Liv's kind of seeing Raquel trying to take her women's championship, Liv's saying, well, okay, then I'll just take your tag champ. And
fair enough.
There'll be this little pissing contest between both of them. I think for the adoration of the group, or for the adoration of, Finn or Dom or somebody.
Yeah, I like that the Judgment Day is still going strong. Yeah.
It's great. They've reinvented it like so many times, and they've done a great job transitioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think so? do you think that they would have to have a big event if they're going to end the Judgment Day, or like, do you think they're going to have like something big happen if they're ever going to put an end to it, or like, how would you put an end to the Judgment Day?
Well, let's keep that on the stove. Not forget that question, and let's go, because this will come back.
Okay.
To the Judgment. Let's talk about the guy in the mask.
Okay.
The ski mask and the.
Well, you think he's Dominic Mysterio?
No.
Finn Balor?
No.
The other good dude?
Who started the Judgment Day?
Damian Priest.
No,
right?
He did not.
Rhea Ripley? I don't know.
Edge.
Oh, so you think Edge is giving those curb stomps?
I think that, and I don't think that Edge is actually the guy that's playing the role right now. But come unveiling time, I think it's going to be him. Because I think he's still involved with AEW contractually a little bit.
Yeah. Who do you think's in the mask now, though? Like,
I don't know. It could be anybody. It doesn't matter. I mean,
gotcha.
But it's definitely not Jericho.
It's Hornswoggle
in the mask. And if they say if they unveil it as Jericho, that's going to be like, oh, come on, we know it's not, because too short, all that stuff. He's too short, not the guy in the mask.
Yeah, it's got to be Hornswoggle. Like I'm telling you,
Hornswoggle.
It's him.
He was huge. He's like 6 foot. But the height and the body size matches with Edge. Again, I don't think it's him right now, but I think the unveiling will be him, and they'll say it was him all along.
Yeah.
And then last night also, I think they're dropping little nuggets of, information. So when you go back and go, oh yeah, that was Edge all along. But if you notice last night on Raw, once he attacked somebody in the ring, I forget who it was, he backed up into the corner, and the way Edge used to back up into the corner and kind of crouch down a little bit, and before he gave the spear, and he kind of crouched like that a little bit, and I think that was part of the plan. So again, you go back and you go, oh, okay, but I do believe, in my opinion, could be wrong, it's going to be Edge.
Okay.
And it's a huge storyline for, anybody involved. And once that's done, then he tries to take back ownership of the Judgment Day, which either kills it or makes it even better.
Oh, so you think that's what it's going towards?
I think eventually, yeah. I think after whatever, if it is him and whatever storyline he comes in for right now, who did he curb stomp again? It was
LA Knight and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I think so. Once he's done with that,
because Rey Mysterio was Rey Mysterio was about to 619 Logan Paul or something, and then the dude showed up and then curb stomped Rey Mysterio. And that's when he did the back up into the corner, did the kind of, But all while Michael Cole was like, oh, he's taking inspiration from Seth Rollins or something like that, or whatever.
Or curb stomp.
The curb stomp or whatever. I don't know. He said something about the movement of the wrestler or something. Anyways.
Okay, I got to pause real quick.
Oh, yeah. We're back. We're back on the podcast.
My fault.
It's okay. You just had to take a fart. That was it. So you really think Edge is going to be under that mask? You really think that's
my prediction.
Speculation?
That's my speculation.
Is that what the experts on X are saying, or what are the experts on X saying?
No idea.
No idea.
I haven't seen anything about it. Everybody's actually saying it's. Well, of course, you had the few people. I did see a couple of things saying, "Oh yeah, it's Seth Rollins." It's not. But
they want us to think it's Seth Rollins.
Some people were saying it's. My gosh, what's his name? Austin Theory. Which I'm not buying that. I mean, it'd be good for Austin Theory. I mean, I think he deserves to be in a bigger role than he was. But I don't think this is it.
But it's going to be someone who's going to team up, who's teaming up with the Vision, though, right?
Not necessarily. I don't think so. I think it's just somebody who's coming in and getting the rub from them and going to be a big heel.
Gotcha.
I mean, Austin Theory could be part of that faction. I mean, it really could be. But so could Edge. But I don't know. Who's to say?
Interesting. Well, what's your opinion on the Bayley and Lyra Valkyria storyline that's still going on? Fantastic. Braun Breaker's promo was really good at the end of Raw, wasn't it?
Braun Breaker's great, man.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker he's hitting it out of the park, and I love that he's getting personal, and that's again reality. Okay, and he's calling out Punk for the shit that I've been calling out Punk for. We've been calling out Punk for.
Yeah,
it's this soft kind of new age baby face, which just doesn't work, man. It just doesn't. It's all bullshit, and they're calling it out in a promo, which is awesome, and I love it. And for him to take shots at his wife, it's good stuff. So Braun Breaker's getting over as a big heel. He got to be careful though. He doesn't want to get to that cool status of a big heel to where people are like, yeah, I want to hear this guy talk shit and cheer him when he does. And
I think that's where it's going, though.
It could be. I mean, we looked at some of these guys who could have been an in-between guy, but I think Braun Breaker's more of that character because his promos are going to carry him, man.
Yeah.
He's a good worker too, but
that promo was really good by him at the end of Raw. I think that's...
And last week's was even better,
And I think it speaks volume when you have Raw and on a promo, and that's the level that they give you. That's the level of promo they give you. And I'm just like, that is a promo worth ending Raw on.
Yeah.
And so, because it could have gone bad to where it was just like, really, like, what is this? Like, this is really how you're going to end the show? But I think they did a good job with it.
Yeah, I think, let him be who he is. And that's who he is. You can tell that's who he is. And he sounds just like his uncle. And those promos are just like Scott Steiner's promos as far as, just, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got the influence of Paul Heyman working with him on some of the, bits and pieces here. And Paul's great at that stuff. So, you can't lose, in my opinion, with this.
Yeah. Do you think things are still a little awkward with Logan Paul in the group?
I don't think it's awkward. I think you can definitely, he's not the same as those two, right? He's a different kind of cat, and I like that Paul pulls him aside separately to talk about his shit and then talks to them about their stuff separately as well. Kind of keeping them separate, but they're together. They got each other's backs. I like it. It's different, it's definitely not, you can tell that Braun and him aren't really bros kind of thing, but they're on the same team.
Yeah.
And I like that, because it leaves it open for down the road. I mean, what's going to happen here? Are they going to just tee off on each other or what's going on here?
It's very true.
So I like that.
Who do you think would turn face first?
Oh, Braun for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily turn face, but just go nuts on him and like he's going nuts on everybody else.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you make them bros, then you have to kind of sow the seed of deception and somebody turning, and you can see it coming a mile away. When you have them separately, not really, being bros but on the same page kind of thing.
Yeah.
You won't see it coming as much and as quickly, So it could be that element of surprise, and I like it.
I agree. At first, I didn't really care for Logan Paul being with the Vision, but it's growing on me a little bit. I could kind of see where they're going with it. Something's going to happen to where maybe Logan Paul gets booted out and maybe replaced by the dude in the mask or whatever that's going around, the unknown person. I don't know, but I don't know. I kind of dig what they're doing with the Vision now. It seems like they kind of know what what they're doing, and they just need to stay in the direction they're going. Don't whatever happened before this, don't don't talk about it. But this is what we've been wanting to see from the Vision.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. Backstage stuff included. And I think once Seth's back, he's a babyface.
You think so?
He's got to be at this point, right?
Yeah. When do you think he'll come back?
I don't know. I don't know what the timetable is on that. Is that too soon? I have no idea. I don't know what the timetable is on his
Mania.
I mean, if they can get him, for Mania, that would be cool for him and Braun Breaker to have a match at Mania. Would be huge if they build it right.
Yeah, if they build it right. But the next big event is Rumble, right? That's the next big one.
I believe it is. Royal Rumble from Riyadh.
Yeah. Do you think that's gonna have a bad influence on the Rumble, or?
Well, so my issue with that is, not only do I now have to get up early in the morning to watch the Royal Rumble, I also have to pay extra.
You have to pay extra.
Ain't happening, man. It's like I said, it's the first Rumble I'm going to miss, and that's my choice. But I'm not going to be held over a barrel just because of some wrestling show.
You'll get the highlights anyways.
Get the highlights. Which okay. I'll watch it eventually, some point, somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. I'll watch the Rumble. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But
again, then with the females, they got to cover up and all that, and
boo.
But and it's not like I watch. I'm sure some people do, but I'm not just wanting to see them because they show cleavage or whatever. But it's part of their persona, their gear. Just like with the guys, the guys all went out there wearing bodysuits would look ridiculous,
Agreed.
So it's the thing I have an issue with is that, and giving so much to these guys over there and letting them, pretty much control the product. I don't agree with. But hey, hopefully that doesn't hamper anything creatively, and it's still going to be a great show and a great Rumble.
Hopefully.
Rumbles are where a lot of guys can be put in a position to create something new and fresh and have a huge year ahead of them. So Braun Breaker.
You think we'll get any good surprises in the Rumble?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe this is where, the guy unveils himself, the mask guy, maybe. He comes out and into the Rumble and he dumps not Braun Breaker, he dumps out LA Knight. Maybe LA Knight's in there and he dumps him out of the Rumble. And then he pulls it off. And it's like, holy shit. And
it's
now
Edge.
Edge and LA Knight going to Mania. Or whoever it is. But yeah, I think we'll definitely get some surprises. I think it's, gone are days where you expect, 5 people to come in and the rest of our main roster guys. Now you have NXT guys and TNA guys, and it's kind of like it's a little too much,
Yeah.
I prefer having just the main roster guys and a couple of surprises, and it's not a place. Maybe 1 or 2 guys from NXT, or TNA, but you have too much. I mean, you're kind of just killing your own roster. You're leaving a lot of people out at that point. And you want to develop storylines. This is like, the reset for the year, right? This is where you start building towards Mania and beyond.
Yeah. Interesting. You think they're going to start any cool storylines? What storyline would you, or not necessarily storyline, but wrestler would you like to set up with a maybe more important storyline?
Well, I mean, you already have, right? Braun Breaker right now and LA Knight getting positioned for, something big. Gosh, I don't know, man. I mean, Dominic Mysterio,
Yeah.
Uh, I'd like to see him have a. I'd like to see Dominic have kind of a mob, not cartel. I don't want to go. I want to go to a route where we're talking about drug dealers, but like a Mexican mob kind of behind him, and there's henchmen and that kind of thing where he's just kind of almost untouchable because he's not the biggest guy, right? I mean, he's gotten in some great shape. He can work. He's got good promos, but hate him more by just having guys who do all the dirty work for him, Dirty Dom, right? And of course, Liv Morgan's still with him, right? So now you hate him even more because he's got one of the hottest chicks on the roster. He's got everything, right? He's got everything. But for him to be able to get to that main event and that world title, right now, I don't believe that he would be a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's got 4 guys who, make sure that shit goes down and what he says goes, Tony Soprano of WWE here,
Still haven't seen The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen The Sopranos yet.
Oh, you gotta watch it, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Such a great show.
It's on the list. The endless list.
But yeah, so I think Dom is definitely one. You could build Liv again. I think she will get built up again. I think she'll be in the main event at Mania for her world title back. There's so much talent there that I think that they're going to really start focusing on bringing up those NXT guys.
Yeah.
They showed that on Raw last night, and there's more talent down there that they're really starting to get high on that they, I think, want to bring up to the main roster. So who knows? But they'll definitely develop something out of it. They always do it with the Rumble,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of out of things to talk about. We kind of touched up on everything. I mean, we do know that Cena's going to be most likely in that Hall of Fame ceremony this year or next year before Mania, and yeah, that would probably be it for Cena for a while, forever, probably more than likely forever, because it seems like he's very adamant about it's over. I'm done.
Yeah,
and but money does talk, so.
Well, I think he'll still be involved as an ambassador or something like that with WWE for a long time. I think he'll be the Babe Ruth of the company, where they need something or a face to promote something heavily. Hey, it's called Cena up, once or twice a year, to just get that name out there and make it seem more important.
Yeah.
Other than that, absolutely. Dunzo.
Well, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up? Any topics maybe that's not wrestling related, or?
No, I'd like to keep that separate. We can do another show on some JFK stuff. But yeah, or I want to talk comic books with you and
comic
books. Find out more.
I got comic books for days. This is just comic books on my bed. These just picked them up within the past couple of weeks. So
yeah. So I want to dig into why there's such a difference between comic books and the movies, and stuff like that. So we'll hit a show on that.
Yeah, I would love to talk comics. But yeah, that would be such a fun episode. Comics, I don't know. I think I've been reading comics since 2012. So yeah, almost what?
When you can start reading,
50 years. So yeah, it's been a while. Comics. I always try to read comics every day. I deleted all social medias off my phone. I still have the accounts, but I just don't have the apps on my phone. And anytime I get the urge to, open my phone, go on Instagram or whatever, I just read a comic instead. Just, because I got the DC Universe app with the Marvel United app or whatever it's called, to where I can read their whole library of comics digitally. So
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's
We'll tee that one up and get it going.
But yeah, and then before the video ends, if you've made it this far, that means you most likely need to take a shower. And there's a video up on my channel. The link will be in the description, and there would be like a thumbnail or something up here somewhere. And it is a tutorial video on how to properly take a shower. So go ahead and check that out. It was filmed. So the reason I did it was because I recently got a camera. It was the Osmo Pocket 3. If you could see it, it says it right there, Pocket 3. But Osmo Pocket 3. And I recently got it because I'm going to be filming some videos in the future. So look forward to that. But yeah, so if you need to take a shower and you maybe are getting bored with your regular shower routine, go ahead and check out that video.
I've nothing to do with it. I'm disclaimer right now. I don't even know what he's talking about.
My dad's not in it. That so it is strictly just me. It is strictly just me, and yeah, that's it. Just wanted to promote that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Anyways, anything else? That's kind of it.
That's all I got. That's a cliffhanger right there.
Yeah. I might play a clip or something. I don't know. Play a clip of the video, but I don't think there's any point. Nobody got this far into the video.
That's just good.
but yeah, that's it. This has been the Doyledin podcast. We hope you have a good day, have a good night, whatever your time zone may be. Don't forget to always stay Doyledin. Take care.